TV land. It's your boy Freelancer Joe, and it is once again that time of week for Drinks with Joe. Yes, the time of week when we do a retrospective. We look back on the past couple days and figure out what went right, what went wrong, what to do next, what not to do next. Because as Freelancer Joe always says, if you want to get somewhere, you should pay attention to where you've been. So, you know what, let's go ahead and pour that drink because, well, how y'all doing? Good? Fine? Wonderful? It is a beautiful and gorgeous Saturday afternoon. Clear blue skies. I'm not gonna say mild temperatures, but it doesn't look like people are really bundled up outside. But to be honest, one, it feels like a Sunday to me. And two, it actually feels like a blech Sunday. Which is a shame since it's such a nice and gorgeous day. Plus, of course, it's the last Saturday before my vacation ends. So, you know, you kind of hope I would enjoy it. Not to mention the last Saturday of 2018. Now, I know there are some people that are happy that 2018 is over. But the passage of time is an interesting thing. When you're young, you don't quite appreciate it. And when you're older, maybe you do, maybe you don't. It just means another year gone. See, that's part of my just not feeling it thing. Not blasé, melancholy? Just, no, not melancholy, because that would mean I'm kind of, you know, sad about it. I don't know. And to be honest, even the vodka has lost its appeal today. Although, were I to again be honest, actually that started a long time ago. Always the verbal tics. All these episodes, and I still haven't broken myself of that. Disappointing. Truly, truly disappointing. As I was saying about the vodka, I noticed this like months ago. It's almost like the hangover actually kicks in before the buzz does, which is kind of pointless. I think the last time I enjoyed alcohol, well, you can enjoy alcohol and you can enjoy alcohol responsibly. And it's been a while since I irresponsibly enjoyed alcohol. Not that I would do anything illegal or anything, just to the point of being, you know, sick. Let's see. But the last time I enjoyed alcohol reasonably was at the holiday Christmas party, and that night it was the I forget the name of it. Basil Hayden, Kentucky bourbon whiskey. So maybe it's just my body's kind of saying, yeah, we've had enough of vodka for now. Time to switch up. Which is rather unfortunate. The reason I do the vodka is because it has alcohol in it, of course, but it's also the cleanest from a carb perspective. Not that even whiskey has all that much in it, but it has a little bit. And when you're trying to control things like I do, even when you let go, you still have to try and control things. Yeah, you know, maybe this whole blech thing is just me coming down from the carbs. That's entirely possible. The first few days after re-ingesting carbs, I kind of get that high, and then eventually the carbs / toxins settle into the bloodstream, and it just slows me down. So maybe that's it. Maybe I hope it is. I really do. Though I suspect it's actually something else. It's almost like I'm in a state of doubt. And it doesn't help that the dogs are barking again. Not my dogs, of course, the neighbor's dogs. Because it's a nice day, so naturally people are out walking. And, of course, the dog's owners aren't there, so the dogs bark. Because, of course, the owners leave the blinds open so the dogs can see outside. But it's not enough to make, see, that's the state I'm in. It's like, it's not enough to make me care. Depression? You have to honestly consider it. But no, I feel like doing things. And that's one of the things. When a person has true depression, I mean, they don't feel like doing anything. But I'm just, it's doubt. It really is. Doubt. There are things I believe that I should do, things that I know that I should do, and yet there's that doubt that kind of lies in front of it, and it's obscuring things. So maybe I just need some clarity that'll happen. The cloud will just lift and maybe I'll feel better. Who knows? On the plus side, I have my notes, which is, if you're paying attention, my eyes are darting to the right. I assume they are. I'm not looking at the screen right now, the camera screen. I'm looking at the lens. I'm looking at you because I'm here for you. Even though I feel like blech, I still have that obligation and that desire to make content for you, my loyal and wonderful and awesome viewers. Wait, if I have that doubt, how can I say that I have that desire? Not, to be honest, what's going right now is the discipline of the routine. That's what it is. And that is why we have disciplined routines. Because even when you're not feeling like it, you still do it. So, like I said, on the plus side I have notes, and I didn't do the I did so it's a slight difference. I watched Venom last night, the Sony Spider-Man spin-off movie. Well, if you watch the movie, it doesn't look like it has any relation to Spider-Man at all, but any comic book fan / geek will tell you that, yeah, Spider-Man and Venom are very closely related. Very, very closely indeed. It was enjoyable enough. Well, I did a digital rental, so it was $5.99. It feels more like a $3.99's pushing it. I would put it at a $2.99 rental. To be honest, it's right at or just below what I would qualify as the low tier of Marvel movies. Marvel, again, Marvel hasn't made a truly bad movie per se, but they have certainly made weaker movies. But even their weaker movies, they're the kind of things where if you're flipping through the channels, you know, I mean, you can take it or leave it. It doesn't offend you. You know, you can leave it on and pay attention or walk off and do something else. And I would put Venom just at around that, or maybe just below it. So on the positive side, Venom itself, the creature, definitely has potential, because they do some really cool things in there. Not to mention the fact that they almost, I would say, show what a Hulk movie should be like. When Venom is rampaging, I'm just picturing, you know, that's what the Hulk should be doing in Hulk movies. Instead, they spend very little time in Hulk movies to having the Hulk rampage. And they do the build-up, and then he does rampage, and then he feels bad about it, and then he rampages again. You notice they subverted that in Ragnarok because he was Hulk all the time. And then the other thing is, Tom Hardy himself is actually very likable as Eddie Brock, or he plays a very likable Eddie Brock. Again, comic book fans / geeks will tell you that when Eddie Brock started, he was not a good guy. Actually, I'm not sure where he stands right now, either. But since Venom is an anti-hero, I guess he sort of walks on the side of the angels. Who knows? But on the negative side about the movie in general, why I would put it at that low tier, or maybe just below, is that it just feels sloppy, and I'm not sure if uninspired is the right word. And I don't know if that's just related. I think that's like overall. I mean, the story itself, which no real surprises as far as origin movies go, and they had to take liberties with the origin because, well, it's not Spider-Man in there, so couldn't use that, the actual origin. And the villain was interesting enough. I did not think of him as a very strong villain, but I didn't think of him as a very weak villain either. He certainly wasn't like Lex Luthor bad in Batman v Superman, even though the character archetype is very, very similar. But yeah, the story was just uninspired, and so the thing about Venom is he's pretty much the Punisher, but if the Punisher was a monster, more of a monster, an actual monster. The Punisher is a monster, to be honest. But Venom, I mean, eats bad guys, bites off their heads. And when I say the uninspired part, so they didn't want to have the R rating, but they still wanted to have Venom bite off heads. And he did. But you know, you could have done it in ways that just showed more creativity, and that's kind of why I say it's uninspired. A lot of the real things that should be violence, they just didn't frame it right or show it right. So the biting heads is one thing, and then there's one scene where the bad guy, Riot, he was a bad guy. He basically slices everybody in a room in half, or at least based on his actions, that's what should have happened, but instead people just fell to the ground. So it's just, something that really exemplifies the whole thing is the soundtrack. If you listen to the soundtrack, and I didn't listen to the soundtrack, but I was paying attention, is that there were some really good points. In particular, the Venom song by Eminem was really, really good. But then overall, it was your standard mix of rap / hip hop and instrumental stuff. And other than the Eminem song, the other rap stuff was kind of generic, and the instrumental stuff extremely generic. I don't know if Venom has a theme song or what, to be honest. I mean, even all the Marvel heroes, they have a theme. You might not be able to remember it off the bat, but I'm trying to think if Ant-Man has a theme. He's the one person I think that's missing the theme. And the Guardians have a theme. Does Cap have a theme? Thor has the Asgardian theme. Iron Man does. You haven't heard it in a while, but he did have a theme. I know that because the guy that did the Iron Man soundtrack is also the guy that did Pacific Rim, and it's very distinctive. The Guardians got a theme. Strange has a theme. Who else is there? Pretty sure Black Panther has a theme. I only watched it once, so yeah. It doesn't sound like I enjoyed the movie that much, and it was a way to pass time, I guess. Not offensive. It's just kind of sad when you think about it, that that's how you have to filter entertainment. It's like, okay, well, it's not offensive. Not offensive as in the, triggered kind of way, just not offensive to artistic sensibilities and entertainment sensibilities in general. I mean, there's lots of things in there that would be offensive to the triggering type. Certainly female Venom, that would do it. And that was... mixed feelings on that one. Well, I'll just put it at that. Oh, other than the dogs barking in the background, which they've stopped now for whatever reason, you might hear the washing machine going. I actually did all my laundry when I got back on Thursday, but I came up with another load. I figured I'd just go ahead and knock it out of the way before the weekend's over, so it's pretty much a clean slate except for what I'm wearing right now. And if you also hear some additional whirring, that's the my digital media conversion is continuing. But we are about at the 15-minute mark, so let me go ahead and break for intermission. I hope that you enjoy the meme. I actually have picked something out, but we'll talk about it when we get back. So I'll see you in 10 seconds. Alright, and we are back. Did you like the meme? I hope you like the meme. Now, to be honest, if I wake up Monday morning feeling the same way that I am right now, that meme is going to be me at work. I will just have to force myself so hard to get through Monday if I keep feeling the same way that I am right now. Before we cut out for the intermission, I was talking about the Bluray Conversion, and yeah, it's a lot slower. That actually kind of gives me concern about this Drinks with Episode Joe tonight. So we're talking about like an hour and a half to do the rip from disc, which is not so bad. But then it's what time is it right now? It's like 3. Yeah, I'm talking like 5 hours to convert like a 70 gig disc into MP4 formats. Now on the plus side, it's like a 90% reduction in size, so that's great. But so if this takes another 2 hours, it'll be 5 o'clock, and I don't want to do my editing of this video processing wise, my post-processing, while this is running, because they're both video related stuff and it's very taxing on the laptop processor. But this would only take like half an hour. But then the upload process, I still haven't figured out. Actually, I think the bottleneck is my side of things on the upload. I'm almost certain that is, because when I was uploading from my undisclosed super secret location, the uploads were much faster even for this DSLR stuff. So that's probably what it is. But assuming I don't fall asleep, this episode should be able to go up tonight, but it will be maybe 10-ish, 11-ish maybe? So we'll see. Yeah. Oh, but look, we are more than halfway through this Drinks with Joe episode, and the whole point of this was to do a retrospective, and here I am jibber-jabbering. But that kind of makes sense, because, well, let's start off with, well, we have 3 things I try to cover. I do cover. Maybe not spend enough time on them, but I do cover them, and that's basically my freelancer activities, training, and work. However, since I've been on vacation this past week, work's going to be kind of short, a short topic to cover, and since it was my rest week, training is going to be a really short topic to cover, unless I start kvetching. So that just leaves freelancer with anything that happened. Well, to be honest, things happened in training too, even though I wasn't training. But yeah, let's cover work first because, well, yeah, there's nothing to report because I was on vacation. I guess the only thing, well, that's the retrospective part. Now we have to do the planning ahead part. And I already know what things I'm working on at work, so really I just have to make sure that I can refocus after my time off and concentrate my effort on doing what needs to be done. Which hopefully I feel better than I do now. Otherwise, again, if I'm just like that meme that I showed for the intermission, then that's going to be tough to get anything useful done. Generally, these malaises don't linger around for me too much. Unfortunately, a shower and a shave didn't clear it out. I was really hoping that would do it, so... maybe some sleep? I'm not really feeling tired. In fact, the problem with these malaises is that it's kind of hard to go to sleep. I don't know. Anyway, so then that next is training, because again, nothing really to report because of rest week. Well, the other thing to actually kind of report is that, yeah, I definitely packed on the pounds, that's for sure. How much? I want to say about, I added 5 to 7% of my body weight back on. To be fair, maybe around half of it is just water retention. 1/2 to 2/3, so that'll go quick once I get back on the diet and the training. I shed that after like the first week, so that's fine. There's that other part, which that'll take a while. Certainly hoping that, well, now that I have a much better idea of a really solid diet that can really shed the pounds, and I know that I can follow it. It should come back quick. Probably 3 weeks. Take a week off and it takes 3 weeks just to recover. Now, normally, well, in a 6 to 8 week training cycle, that's pretty good though. So, and you think about it, you take a week off, let's just say it's a 6 week training cycle, right? So you take a week off, and then the first 3 weeks, the first half of that 6 week cycle is just undoing what happened during the rest week. And then the other 3 weeks is pushing ahead. So that works out good. Presuming I maintain the discipline to do what needs to be done. It's not pleasant. It's not pleasant at all. But I think I'll have added incentive. Of course, on the downside, well, I haven't, as much as I share on these episodes, I haven't really shared everything about what's going on. I have to leave some surprises in this relationship, you know? So this next training week, training cycle is going to be not the norm. Now let's see, back to training though. So other than the weight, the back, have I fully recovered from the injuries that were starting to nag me? Well, so the knees didn't bother me last training cycle, so that's good. Shoulder is actually feeling better, although that injury is never really going to fully go away. I mentioned before that that's because of a motorcycle riding thing. More accurately, it was me learning how to ride a motorcycle. So, yeah, and that was years ago. I don't think that's ever fully going to heal. I probably should see a doctor, in all honesty, about it, but yeah, I mean, I have the full range of motion. That doesn't hurt, and that's fine, so we'll see. But I imagine as I get older, it's gonna remind me more often than not. So that was the knees, shoulder, lower back. So the lower back's still a little tight. I haven't resumed that stretching exercise. I did it like the first half of my vacation, but I haven't done it this last half. So we'll see. I think it is just tightness. So if I can, when I resume my training, if I resume the stretches, hopefully that'll loosen things up, and then it won't be as much of an issue as it was during the previous training cycle. So we'll see. Alright, and then that leaves the final subject, which is my freelancer activities. So if you've been paying attention to my videos, and I hope someone has, okay, great. So I've stopped using and now I go Thank you for bearing with me. I did it again. I got my Ubuntu guest host running in VirtualBox, all up and running, and I have all of my projects working again. I don't think I've checked out my API project, but I don't run that locally. I just I edit it locally, and I run it on Amazon stuff. So that's that. And it was pretty straightforward. Yeah, getting them up and running was not bad at all. The hardest part was coming up with the idle chatter and the song and dance while I was downloading all the packages on camera. And right now I am working on cleaning up the technical debt. Most of the technical debt. And actually, I should add an asterisk to that everything up and running thing, because that hot loader thing is not working. Or at least not the way it should be. At least not the way I remember it working. So, yeah. But for the most part, enough for me to actually get stuff done. And the technical debt cleaned up one project, I believe it was the Parallax one. So I can go ahead and continue that on for the start of this week. I don't think it's going to take me the entire week though. We have the period template, the sidebar template, those are the only two, and then there's my personal website, my demo website, and my client's website. And I don't actually even normally clean up the demo site, or should I? I've been avoiding doing that, but maybe I should go ahead and clean up the demo site while I'm at it. Now that way, well, because I practice things in the demo site, so I want to have a clean console, so if something goes wrong, it's going to be related to the thing I'm working on. So I should probably do that. So that's what pure, simple, demo, mine, and client 5. You figure 2 a day? Yeah. I should finish like before the middle of next week. So then I need to pick the next thing. Well, I could try spending some time on figuring out how to get the hot load working, but that's one of those off-camera things because it involves me reading documentation and such. Still need to actually come up with my redundant environment so I can do an update on my guest host. But again, another off-camera thing, as well as trying to see if I can get the CentOS environment running again. It ran, just functioning correctly again, and that's not actually my fault. It's when an updated guest editions come out that is compatible with the kernel update that occurred in CentOS. So I guess the only other thing that leaves me is, at least for content generation, is calendar integration. But I need to work on the hustle. I mean, 2019 starts next week, and I really do need to... Maybe we should start going through activities on how to pursue freelance work. That might not be a bad thing. That might not be a bad thing at all. It's going to be a little dry. Well, I presume that my technical stuff is already pretty dry to begin with. Technical stuff. Again, it's all perspective. Then again, the point of these episodes is actually to show my technical stuff. To demonstrate for prospective clients that I can do technical work. Technical. I try to see things from multiple perspectives, so not always the best thing though. As much as I give off the aura of self-confidence, because I am quite self-confident, people sometimes mistake the fact that I will say things like technical, perceive that as me not being confident when merely it's me giving voice to another perspective. I do need to work on the hustle though for the freelancer stuff. But even if I do work on the hustle, and this kind of bubbled up while I was talking about the training, the next training cycle, there's going to be an additional disruption though. So much like the holidays not being the best time for me to go after work because, well, one, people are probably too busy with enjoying the holidays, and two, I wouldn't be able to necessarily commit because of the holidays. Likewise, another disruption is coming up, which kind of means I really shouldn't chase after things that will require a commitment. So I'll have to think about that. Again, doubt, malaise. It's the doubt thing that's lingering after me, and it's not just this freelancer stuff. But we are just about at the 15-minute mark, so I need to wrap this up before the camera cuts off. And at least we covered everything we needed to cover. Thank goodness it was a vacation, and that we didn't have to spend too much time on training and work. So, cool kid words about liking and subscribing, commenting, and suggestions, or suggesting. Certainly hope you join me, again, jeez. Certainly hope you join me tomorrow when we resume my freelancer technical work, which is just more debt cleanup. But until the next time you join me, I hope that you take care and God bless.